Hey everybody, this is Rob Vegas and I'm checking in from Melbourne, Australia. And of course we are kicking on with movie month here. It's October 2023, so we're just going to be talking movies in our movie chats videos this month on YouTube. So something different, but we are going to stay the course. And speaking of which, and staying the course, we're going to talk about The Wild Bunch from 1969, which is an American revisionist western film directed by the legendary and infamous Sam Peckinpahs. The cast is star-studded, of course. We've got William Holden, Ernest Borgnine, Robert Ryan, Ben Johnson and Warren Oates. And of course the plot involves them basically being a gang of outlaws hanging around the Mexico-United States border in 1913. Of course, by that stage, you know, the Wild West is sort of dying out, and these old outlaws are dying out as well. And this movie tells the story of these guys, you know, doing that sort of one last score to make it big and get away and, you know, hopefully give up their life of crime and, you know, stop being outlaws and, yeah, trying to get away from all of that stuff that they've been doing for decades. So they're aging sort of cowboys and bandits, and it's their chance, as I said, to get that one last score. And The Wild Bunch tells the story of that. And yeah, this one is, if you haven't seen it, you're in for one hell of a trip, because it's pretty damn extreme and cool. And I'd imagine if you'd have seen this back in 1969 when it came out, it would have just blown your mind. The movie is infamous or notorious for having like a whole lot of, like, being really violent, and it might seem tame by today's standards or something to that effect, but boy, you're in for a bloody trip with this one, as the movie basically starts off with a bank robbery that goes wrong, and there's all sorts of innocent sort of bystanders that get caught up in the crossfire, and chaos just breaks out. And then it turns out, once the Wild Bunch, led by William Holden, his name is Pike, that's his name, of course. It turns out they went through all this hell and back of this bank robbery, and it turns out when they opened their loot that it was just a whole lot of washes and stuff like that. So no money, nothing. So they're stuck in that situation where they're still trying to make that one last big score. They recruit a new guy, Angel, and he's trying to help out his family who are being oppressed by this Mexican warlord, and there's all sorts of double crosses and betrayals. As one of the guys who used to be in William Holden's gang has now become a sheriff, and he's tracking them down. So the clock's ticking, and will the Wild Bunch, that's the name of their gang. Not that I don't think they mention it ever in the movie, but anyway, the bunch, are they going to get out of there alive and get that last big score so they can farewell the life of being outlaws and criminals and things like that? Anyway, as I said, William Holden plays Pike Bishop. We've got Ernest Borgnine, who's always fantastic as Dutch. We've got Robert Ryan, he plays Deke, who's the guy who left the bunch earlier, and he's tracking them down. We have Warren Oates as well, and Ben Johnson, and of course as Angel, where is he? What's his name? Jamie Sanchez. So they round out the bunch, and the movie follows them as they are on the run from Deke Thornton, who's trying to track them down with his rogue bunch as well. And yeah, it's, as I said, these guys are on a collision course, which happens a couple of times, and then we throw in this Mexican general guy, this Mexican warlord who I mentioned, and he's holding Angel's character. His family and his village are being oppressed by this Mexican warlord dude who's called General Mapache. And basically this Mapache guy's a real bad dude, and he's, you know, got an army of his troops and things like that who are treating Angel's family and villagers really badly, and it turns out that when the bunch do make a score and get a bit of cash, Angel uses his money to try and buy weapons to help his villagers, but General Malpachi finds out about that, and that, as I said again, Malpachi and his troops, and then Deke Thornton, who's chasing the bunch, and then the bunch themselves all get thrown together in this maelstrom of chaos, and that's essentially how the movie plays out, and where you get at the end. And there's probably more to it, but this thing is dense. It's packed with great character moments about the guys reflecting on their life of crime and, you know, getting into these crazy situations and finding a way out at whatever the cost is. And it all ends in one gruesome set of basically a bloodbath. So if you haven't seen the movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's this famous scene where the guys just go, well, screw it, what the hell, let's just go on the walk. And they go on the walk. If you know what the walk is, if you've seen the movie, they go on the walk, and then hence the end of the movie. Like, apparently it was controversial when it came out, because it would have been very violent for the time, and it's still pretty damn violent now if you've seen it. And there's like this beautifully directed battle sequence of absolute madness and chaos, which was kind of a hallmark or a trademark of the director Sam Peckinpahs. But also a trademark of him was some really beautifully shot scenes and character moments that bring the Wild Bunch, like all the guys in the gang, together when they have the quieter moments between the the bits where they're robbing banks or trains or whatever they're doing. There are these quiet moments that are quite introspective and bring the characters to life. And at the start of the movie, you're like, wow, these guys are just total scumbags. And then over the course of the movie, you sort of begin to sort of see that they are human and that they've got their own concerns and things that they want and that they're trying their best to get. And there's that point where they just go, well, screw it, we're going to help out our buddy, and whatever the cost is, we're the Wild Bunch, and basically this group of friends is all they have. And of course, you find out how that affects them, and of course the absolute path of carnage that they leave behind. And if you've not seen the Wild Bunch, like, this is absolutely top shelf stuff. I'm going with a 4.5 on the Rob Vegas rating meter, as it's definitely worth a watch if you catch it on TV or you see the DVD, or if it comes out somewhere, like anyone's having like a revisionist viewing of it, like on the big screen, it'd be absolutely spectacular, as it's an experience. So the Wild Bunch from 1969. Let me know in the comments below if you've seen it, and like and subscribe and all that. We're going to tackle a few more Sam Peckinpahs classics, as he has quite an interesting, unusual filmography. And we're going to chat about them more. So if you want to find out more about that, keep an eye out and stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.
Crystal Ball says like and subscribe and leave a comment.
Yeah, it's raining a bit outside, isn't it?